It's long been known that Ellyse Perry is arguably one of the greatest women's cricketers to have ever played the game. And thus, it should be perhaps a little surprised that it was down to her superlative all-round performance that the Royal Challengers Bangalore were finally able to seal a spot in the WPL playoffs, and did so thanks in no small part to a great all-round performance from Perry. Not only did she end up starring with the ball, but she also played a key role with the bat, as RCB aside, who, it is worth reminding, did not make it to the final last time and are still waiting for any kind of, let's say, glory, whether it be in the IPL or WPL. Well, they're through now, at least to the playoffs, and do have one good shot at making it through the finals. But this night belonged entirely to Ellyse Perry, who put on an absolutely beautiful clinical display of all-round ability to ensure that the defending champions, I may add, were absolutely flattened. So how exactly did things play out, and where exactly did such a great performance come from? Well, that's what we'll talk about. And it is worth noting that with MI batting first, there was always an expectation that maybe they would be able to put up a really good performance, but Perry put any hope to that down when she ended up taking 6 for 15 with RCB bowling. 6 for 15 are right up there with some of the best figures that you will see across any format in really any league. 6 for 15 had MI down to 39 for 3 at one point. So it was a really good show, and then thereafter, with the chase at a potentially tricky situation for RCB if they had lost any more wickets, played a very composed innings in the second innings. She scored 40 not out, gave Richa Ghosh company with a good partnership that ensured that RCB were brought home. But the real key thing is that it ensured that, of course, RCB qualified for the playoffs. That being said, many people were really surprised at this performance from Perry, and that is no, let's say, slight on the great all-rounder. It's just down to the fact that when it comes to T20 cricket, her batting has always been good, although she's added a new dimension in the past year or so. But a lot of people had doubts about whether or not her bowling was effective in the shortest format. She's done relatively well in ODI cricket and even the limited number of Test cricket matches that Australia women do play. But in T20, she's barely been a go-to bowler for her country. So what exactly has changed ever since then? She did reveal something rather interesting after the match. She said that I've done some works with the coaches back home in the last 3 years as far as my bowling is concerned, and today I just managed to get it in a good lane and it did a little bit off the wicket. Now, there was no doubting the fact that the wicket did have some juice in it, because the amount of in-swing that she was able to generate, the ones that she got to nip back, left the MI batters absolutely clueless. But even take aside the assistance from the pitch, Perry has looked a far more rounded bowler in this edition of the WPL, because again, if you look at say international cricket, more often than not she was bowling only 1 or 2 overs for Australia in the shortest format. Last year also, her bowling was often the Achilles heel of her game in the WPL. In fact, she was pretty expensive for the most part, and there were games when Smriti Mandhana did not often turn to Perry with the ball. This time around though, you can see that the work that she says for 3 years that she's been putting in on her bowling to try and make those tweaks has definitely paid off for her, because again, the knock couldn't have come at a better time, and RCB would now be hoping that not just Perry but everyone else, including the likes of Richa Ghosh, of course Renuka Singh Thakur, and even the skipper Smriti Mandhana, can keep their form up going into the playoffs, where they could potentially be up against MI once again. But depending on who the team really is, and there is a slight chance that it may be even DC, although that is unlikely, RCB will hope that they can continue seeing this kind of form from Ellyse Perry, because as long as she keeps playing like this, they will fancy their chances of potentially not only winning the playoff, but maybe even the final. Now, what are your thoughts on how well it is that Perry performed? Well, you can let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell, leave us a comment, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Don't forget to download the SportsTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've posted as well. Now from my side though, it is goodbye.